What up, man? It's 415 Boxing. I seen John Boxing video about Zab Judah and Adrian Broner being better than Vasiliy, Lomachenko. Now, Zab Judah fought some pretty good guys. At the same time, Zab Judah is way older than Vasiliy Lomachenko. He comes from a different era. You know, he comes from an era of boxing where the fighters were just better than me. And it wasn't as political as it is today. You know, he fought Floyd Mayweather. You know, when he couldn't win that fight, he basically stopped fighting. Okay, we all know he wasn't the same fighter after Costa Tszyu. Okay, he fought Joshua Clottey. He found a way to get out of that fight. He fought Amir Khan, got hit with a body shot, and he went down like he got hit in the nuts. They gave him some time to see if he could continue. He acted like he couldn't. Now, he showed heart versus Miguel Cotto, and he showed heart versus Danny Garcia, but those two fights were in New York. He can't come back to New York if he go out like he did in some of them other fights. Now, he thought Carlos Baltimore fight was going to be easy, and then it wasn't, and then ultimately he shut down. Zab Judah wasn't the same after the Costa Tszyu fight. Now, it's one thing if he won most of those major fights, but he lost most of those major fights. Now, you give him credit for beating Corey Spink's son, whatever his name is, but that dude wasn't that good. Now we have Adrian Broner. At the lightweight division, there wasn't really nobody for him to fight. So he moved up to welterweight. Got beat by Marcos Elchino Madonna, right? Then he moved back down to 140. He fights Sean Porter, won't let his hands go at all. Okay, he fights Jesse Vargas, loses. He fights Mikey Garcia, loses. At this point, Adrian Broner is known more for talking shit than anything that he does in the ring. Vasiliy Lomachenko was known for more doing what he does in the ring. All right, Zab Judah was one of my favorite fighters coming up, but let's be honest. When Zab figured out he couldn't win, he turned into a front runner. All right? He turned into a front runner because he couldn't win. And front runners, when they can't win, they just stop fighting. And Adrian Broner is hella similar. It doesn't matter if they fought better fighters. What matters is that they win those fights. And the fact of the matter is, Adrian Broner did not win those fights. He got exposed by Marcos Elchino Madonna. He was not the same fighter after that. And Zab Judah got exposed by Costa Tszyu. Was never the same fighter. Okay? He lost to Amir Khan. And Amir Khan's chin is more suspect than Zab Judah's. He wouldn't even let his hands go in that fight because he had the fear of getting knocked out the way Costa Tszyu knocked him out. Madonna and Costa Tszyu exposed Adrian Broner and Zab Judah for the rest of their careers. Zab Judah has some better moments in his career because he did become the welterweight champion, but Adrian Broner hasn't done nothing since he's been knocked out, or not knocked out, but just beat by Elchino Madonna. They are not the same. Peace.